Howdy, y'all. Our project's on track. I mean, it's probably plural, so tracks. Our project's on tracks, but yeah, you know. Last night we got all the tracks in here and we did some preliminary testing to see if we could get these nuts and bolts loose. The problem is the tops are kind of rounded off and rusty. Some of those over there on those tracks, they're a lot newer. I think we could get those off of there, but we have a problem. They're 3/4 inch size socket, and we need like a 3/4 inch drive or 1 inch drive, 3/4 inch socket, and I don't have one. You're out of here today? Hey, where are you going? You were back there meowing and now you're leaving us. All right, I'm gonna run to town. Dad is gonna continue to see if he can get any of this stuff loose, but I'll be right back. I gotta see if I can find a tool. I'm back from town, and while I was gone, I think Dad says he figured out a trick how to get these off. A little bit.
And what do you think it is?
It's hard manual labor.
Heat.
Oh, heat. Yeah.
You heat these nuts up till they just start to glow, and then they break right loose. But you still got to use a wrench and a cheap.
One thing I learned the other day is my cheap Chinesium clamps that I had when I was doing sheet metal, they were making me mad, so I got some new clamps. But I got a 3/4 to 1/2 inch adapter if we need it, because I didn't have one for some reason. And I got two 3/4 drive, 3/4 impacts sockets for the top, so we have our 3/4 air wrench we could put one of these on, and we could put a 3/4 one on this 1 inch drive adapter that we have. And if we break one, which is, there's a pretty good probability. I went through the trouble to run to town and get some sockets, so we're going to give it a try cold and see what it does. I've also got this cheap wrench I found in the bottom of the belly pan of 7U, but we're going to use it to hold stuff on the side. Dad's going to hold it right now with a longer wrench, and we're going to give it a try. Ready? No, sir.
No.
This is going to take forever.
No, we'll get a process going. I'll heat them and you break them. I heat them up, and I do 2 at a time till they just start to turn orange, pretty much on this one side. That's orange. Let's just do this guy quick.
We'll try it.
Let me break it. See it?
Oh, yeah.
See there?
Okay. So I think this is going to be our process. We're going to straighten out this track so we can just go right down the line.
Then we'll flip it over and do the same thing.
Yep. I would say that this went routine. It went really good for the first half, and this last half, I think we got into a section of the tracks that had been sitting in the ground and rusted, and the heads of the bolts were rusted away, and we kind of fought them. We had to torch a majority of them. Some of them we could get away with just heating the nut and then using the 3/4 inch drive impact, and it buzzed probably, what would you say, 85 of them off we saved. So I might have to buy a few we got this other track to take apart next. We'll see how it goes. And then we're going to take those off of the 7J apart over there. And hopefully we'll have enough hardware. I think we're going to be fine. Number two, partly because we're tired and frustrated, I'm gonna get out the big 1-inch big Brutus air impact and try it on some of these. I'm sure it's just gonna round off the bolt heads, but I think our plan is to just start Dad at one end and me on the other end with a torch and just cut all these bolts off. These hardware is gonna cost a fortune, but I don't think we're gonna have any other option because we tried to get some of those out over there and they're worse. They're more rounded off, so it is what it is. Well, what day is this of the whole track thing? This is like
day three.
I'm counting taking them off and switching them. Yeah.
We had the whole day taking them off and switching them on 5T. Then yesterday we spent all day getting them laid out, squared away what we were going to do. We got one done and started on this one.
Yeah, and we went to bed last night very tired, and while I was laying in bed, I just found new bolts and new nuts for this thing. They're aftermarket ones, but they are the correct part number, the correct cat style bolts, but we decided that it is really not worth the trouble to try and save these. And I know a lot of you are laughing right now because you've already went down this road and you knew better before we even started this. So we're going to probably just buzz the rest of these off with the torch, especially the ones over here on these 7J tracks. They are super rusty, and move on with it and get everything ready because that sandblaster is coming tomorrow, so we're on a crunch here. This one's a lot stiffer than the other side was, so I might see if I can work it around out there with the backhoe and the skid steer here in a little bit. I'm going to take all the pads out. Yeah, we got a couple of torch nips on them. They got really difficult because there was concrete on the bottom of a lot of those pads, so if any of you have ran a cut and torch, you know what it's like when there's concrete to torch around anything. So it's a disaster. And we got these two. We're going to do the same technique on these. Doing this kind of work, there's no easy way to do it. There we go. Use track pads. Ranwin Park. That ain't what I wanted. The 7J tracks are not nearly as dirty and rusty as those other ones were, and they don't have the contaminants in it and the oils. So we're going to start over there and work our way this way. It took us about 62 track pads to figure out the trick here, and the trick is to turn the track upside down with the grousers to the ground, and just torch off in between the chains, torch the nut off the other side. And the grousers will lay where they lay, and you can roll up the chain. This is going so much faster. The other thing is you don't risk damaging the top of the grouser, and you don't really damage the chain because there's a lock washer underneath of there that gives you some buffer room too. So if you do get a little close with your torch, it usually takes out the lock washer and doesn't get into the chain. I'm going to start cutting on this side of the chain, and Dad's going to start cutting on the other. He wants to race and see who gets the more done faster. We'll see. I think he's going to win.
So I did 24.
Dad did 24, and I did what, 25. So it's halftime right now at the Great Torch Off, and I got him in the first half. Not gonna lie. Any of them that we got to go back and nip with the torch to get the pads off, that's a 1-point penalty. Start back up here in a second, and the plan is I'm gonna start on the end here, and Dad's gonna resume where he was headed that way. That way we don't cross streams. Can you tell I'm a Gen Xer? Any of you that would remember that movie quote would know. Okay, Great Torch Off. Gentlemen, light your torches. I think that one was a photo finish. Dad had one less bolt than I had on my side, and we both finished about the same time. He was slightly before me. So we're going to get the pads off here, and we're going to tally up any penalties. Okay, more back-breaking labor. At least we're almost done. 40-minute run, we got them all done. How many bolts was it?
62 per side.
Yeah, that's a lot of bolts. We're not all the way to the end yet, but we got one penalty on Dad's side.
It's going.
Looks like I got a penalty too. So I'm still 1 point ahead of Dad. Oh, I'm the champion. Last one. Well, there it is. We're going to roll it up, and we've decided to call this thing what are we, the Chain Gang now?
Chain Gang, yeah.
Yeah, we're the Chain Gang. I'm not going to say the last couple of days have been easy, but this is the 4th track that we took the pads off of, the grousers, and we're going to put that chain on a pallet with the other one. We're going to put these grousers over here on a pallet so they can get sandblasted, and I think we're ready for the sandblaster tomorrow. I'm tired, so I'm going to call it a night. I do want to thank you for watching, and we'll see you on the next one. Big Stripes and I are looking for parts. I just ordered 300 new lock washers for the tracks because I don't want to reuse any of those, but we're probably going to end up buying that hardware, right, Stripes? I think the key to winning a torch off is being able to power through those stretches where there's grease or concrete stuck to it. You got to be able to work around it a little bit. And you got to be thorough with your cuts. You got to make sure you get all the way through and stay hydrated. You got to stay hydrated. It's hot out here today. Dad and I were working hard, and we were both tapped out completely, very tired. So staying hydrated is real important during a great torch off. I want to thank Harris Torches for this victory today. I want to thank my father for teaching me how to use a cutting torch, and my sweet wife, who's operating the camera right now. Any words about this historic loss today?
I don't know that it was only a second's difference, so.
Dad makes everything into a competition.